Welcome to the middle of nowhere. I'm just kidding. We're in Walnut Shade.
Right. We're in Walnut Shade, 10 miles north of Branson.
Yeah. This area is often overlooked, but in today's video, we're going to kind of go over why this is a really cool place to live.
Yeah, and we're going to explore the local businesses here, and I'm going to show you some of the neighborhoods and why this is such a great place to live. And like Mason said, sometimes it's overlooked. So you might want to check out this zip code, 65771, when you're searching for a home.
You can see it's really beautiful here. We're near Bonniebrook, which is located in Walnut Shade, and it's known for a couple rivers, Bull Creek and Bear Creek, that meet together and they flow right into Lake Taneycomo. And with those rivers comes a lot of kayaking. This is a really great place to kayak. And also, so we're at Bonniebrook, so across the highway is Howler Bike Park, where there's a ton of mountain biking involved, tons of trails, just tons of fun to be had around this area.
So Mason mentioned Howler Bike Park, which is fairly new to this area, but also there's the Branson Zipline, which is really fun for families to do. And that's all right here in this little area of Walnut Shade. And also, we mentioned we're here at Bonniebrook right now, and I made a video earlier this year all about Bonniebrook, and it's a historical site. You can come and visit that as well, and it's all ran on donation. And you don't want to forget about Bear Creek Trail Rides, which is a fun thing to do with your family, and it's located right here on Highway 65 next to Howler Bike Park. So there's a lot of history here, going way back to the Indian tribes of the Kickapoo, the Delaware, and the Osage. So they all lived here along these creek banks, which they had lots of water. They were able to hunt and make arrowheads. Eventually, the settlers moved in the 1830s, and they began to homestead. They had families, and the population started to grow. Now, we can see evidence of those early settlers in the graveyards that we have here in Walnut Shade, which some of our ancestors are also buried there. Okay, back to you, Mason.
Thank you, Carrie. Okay, well, now, if you're looking to get hitched, you found the absolute perfect place, because there is wedding venues around, like all around here. I think there's several. We'll link some in the description below. The thing about townships like Walnut Shade is there's really not a whole lot of people around you. It's a really quiet place to live. And the other cool thing is there's a ton of people that have lived here for generation after generation. Huge parcels of land too. So if you're looking for a lot of land, then this is a really great. Probably my favorite thing about this place is really just the whole nature aspect. I've lived here my entire life, and I can't imagine living anywhere else because it's just so beautiful, and I'm such a nature freak, you know? I love hiking, I love swimming in these creeks and stuff. I've been swimming here for a long time. So, yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't really have anything to compare it to because it's just such a beautiful place to live. Part of the video, we're just going to cut and show you kind of the homes around the area, what it's kind of like to live around Walnut Shade.
Yeah, there's a couple of really great neighborhoods that I really like that you might like too. There are some homes with land, although not many for sale at any one given time, but sometimes they pop on the market here and there. And then also, I'm going to take you a drive by the old Meadows schoolhouse and take a look at some interesting stuff like that. So make sure you watch the video all the way to the end, because I'm going to be putting some more interesting things in there. So from this point, we're going to be heading north on Highway 65 as if we're driving to Branson. So the Walnut Shade address actually covers this area and then parts of Highway 160. East would take us to Forsyth, but we're headed west toward Reed Spring, and I'm going to show you Whitetail Crossing. So these homes were built mainly through the late 90s to the early 2000s, and then there's also a couple of new builds going on right now. But this is a really nice neighborhood. The homes are spread out, large lots, and beautiful views of the hills. I would say their average price is in that $500,000 to $600,000 range. And there's also several lots available in here from $20,000 to $50,000. There is no HOA, but there is covenants and restrictions. There's 2 active homes for sale right now, so make sure you click on the link in the description so you can see all of the homes for sale in Walnut Shade. So for now, we're going to head on over, like we're driving to Forsyth. We're going to be going east, and I'm going to show you the old area of Walnut Shade. And Walnut Shade is basically just an address. We used to have a post office down here, but it was moved to Rockaway Beach. And you'll notice we're driving down toward Bull Creek, and this is where Bear Creek meets up with Bull Creek. There's large parcels of land here. There's really beautiful ranches along the water here on the right-hand side. And then I'm going to show you the old post office, which turned into a gas station. There it is. And a little campground. This is Coffee Road. I actually sold a house down here years ago. And you can do anything here. You can park an RV, have a shop. I think it has a lot of what you guys are looking for. And most places here, you can actually have farm animals too. So this is that big, beautiful ranch here. So we do have some big homes with lots of land like this. And then we do have some mid-range homes. They can range anywhere from, I'm going to say $275 up is really what your price is in here. So now I'm going to speed it up a little quicker here, and I'm going to show you Highway 176. And this highway actually ends up back on 65. Everything goes in a circle around here, so we're going to be doing some circles way back here in the woods. But as you can see, we have, homes with no restrictions, and then we have really nice ranch homes with long driveways, and it's just kind of a mix in here. But what I love about living in areas like this, you're far from neighbors. You do have neighbors, but you're not on top of one another. You can have chickens, you can have, different animals, and people will kind of leave you alone. And just to give you an idea of what homes with land are going for, there's a closed sale, a 3-bedroom older home with 17 acres that went for $402,000. There's also a 5-bedroom ranch with a basement with 5 acres that recently sold for $365,000. Now you can see we just turned on Goodnight Hollow Road, which loops around in a circle, and we're gonna pull over, and I'm gonna show you one of the prettiest views in the area, which you can see for miles. So this area has really been the same since I was a kid, and you can take this road and feel like you're in a different area altogether. Doesn't look like Branson at all. But there is a new home I spotted right there, and then this home to the right has been here a really long time. But there's some properties on acreage, and all you can see is a driveway. You can't really see their home. And then there's some homes on the road. But it feels like very private and remote back here. And now we're headed to the Bull Creek Bridge. This is a new bridge that the county decided to put in because of flooding. Although we do really miss our old swimming hole. But this is the new bridge, and it is a lot safer. And Bull Creek is down right now. Very dry season here in September of 2024. But we crossed the bridge, and now I'm going to head over to the old Meadows schoolhouse. And here it is, built in 1906, also next to the Meadows Cemetery. The Meadows were a family that lived here along with the Blues and the Cummings and the Keithleys. And the schoolhouses back then were really part of the community, or a central part of it, where people would gather, go to school, church, and the building was used quite a bit back then. Now it is used for reunions. You can see that it's in pretty good shape, although I hear it does need some repairs. But it is great to see one of these old schoolhouses still standing. And now I'm headed back on Goodnight Hollow Road, and we're going to stop at a subdivision called Meadowbrooke Ranches. And the developer's name was Aslan, and he built the Aslan Covered Bridge, which I think is a really neat touch. But Meadowbrooke Ranches is a small subdivision that has 5 to 10 acre lots. I'm sure this area has some covenants and restrictions, but again, no HOA. You can kind of do what you want to here. Most of the homes are really pretty nice. And just the fact that you can have some animals here like horses is really a nice touch. There's lots of other little side streets and roads off of 176 with a few homes scattered about. And I wish I could show them all to you, but my video would be way too long. So I'm gonna talk about wedding venues now. Back on 65, headed north, here's Greystone Valley, which is a popular wedding venue. And then we also have Ozark Shooters right next to this, so that's also very popular if you like to target practice. And if you take 176 east towards Spokane, you'll end up fairly close to Day Road. And I'm going to take a sharp left on Day Road right now. And I'm going to head down and show you some more homes, show you Bear Creek Winery. And Bear Creek Winery's down Keithley Road. And then here it is on the left. It's kind of hidden back here. It's really one of our favorite places to eat pizza and have some craft beer, and they do have a nice selection of wine here. It's a really fun place to go with a group of ladies or a family, and they have live music usually every Friday and Saturday night, and they stay pretty busy. It's a really fun place to go. This is also a really popular wedding venue too. It's kind of set up like a bed and breakfast where they have cabins for people to stay in. They have this beautiful log chapel here, and then to the right is like a little reception area. And then this is the restaurant here across, which they've added on to recently in the past couple years. They added this section on because they were just growing and getting bigger, and we get a lot of people from Springfield that actually come down here for dinner. I've had some friends over, and we've had dinner here, and they had got the little gift shop, so I think they're just doing really well. Anyway, it's a great place to come check out if you're in the area, especially on the weekend. So now I'm going to head down Keithley Road, which ends up in Bear Creek Valley on Bear Creek Road. I'm going to show you a little subdivision here that's pretty hidden, and this little area is called Reno Springs Estates, and it's going to be in that $300,000 range usually. There was one that just sold in here for $271,000, and it was a 4-bedroom 2-bath, 1,900 square feet. So all of these homes are pretty similar, very simple, but nice homes. And they also offer some really great views of the hills, which is what Walnut Shade is known for, is the view of the hills. So since they were putting blacktop on Bear Creek Road, I came back to Day Road just to show you the mix of properties that we have here. There's all different kinds of homes. There's double wides, there's barn dominiums, there's cabins, and then there's big ranches. So that's what makes Walnut Shade so special and so unique. And it's a nice mix of neighbors too.
Well, thank you guys for watching.
We had a lot of fun making this video, and I hope to make many more, so I'll see you next time.
See ya.